product stream, and from that perspective, it looked good. If I was just a business and the product I was streaming was a different artist, the artist might feel different than I feel, because he's seeing the streaming from whatever his agreement with the company is. But the actual pot is a nice pot.
Right. They're just not getting a big chunk of that pot.
Yeah, and you know, that's all based on how they negotiate it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's a nice pot. So to own the masters is very critical, you know, if you can. You know, when you, as an artist, until you sign a contract, you own your masters. And even when you do, you know, it's contracts that you can sign where you still own your masters. That's definitely the cornerstone to, you know, maximizing the value. Is try to maintain the ownership of the master.
Speaking of maximizing value, you had a line about Ross.
Yeah.
And you said you appreciate that Ross is teaching wealth.
Yeah. You know, I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. You know, I look at moves from the outside looking in. The message that, you know, Ross sprinkle in, or even when they don't sprinkle it, say it outright. I think that's the most empowering message right now, you know. So I just, again, all the writing on the album came out natural, but I felt like I wanted to just speak to that. We inspired by that as the next generation under that era. It's also young kids that's being molded by what's being said in rap music. So, you know, it's a line between preaching and just keeping it a thousand and being thorough. And so, yeah, I was just tipping my hat to something I think is thorough.
What do you think are the keys to building wealth?
Man, I think that it's a formula, and then it's also some things that's intangible. To own something is very important. To understand investment, you know, to understand living within your means or under your means, you know, to understand how to make something, you know. I think that's what's been critical for me, is I make something. I take something from zero and I make it, which is music, and that's a very powerful tool to be able to like come into a room and create something out of nothing. And so that's worked for me. But then there's people that, you know, master that part of the game but consume so fast that it's hard to even get ahead. So it's a combination of things, and I ain't the poster boy for it, but at the end of the day, that's the direction we walking toward, is becoming wealthy to the level that it's not gonna go away. And that, you know, we create a situation that it lasts longer than us.
I've always feel like one of the things I admire about you the most is you're always very forward thinking.
Right.
You were on a panel at Complex Con. What are some of the takeaways that you would want people to know about like digital currency? Or...
It's a way to think about money. It was 3 or 4 different perspectives. I was one of them. And the convo was just about what is money in 2017 going into 18. You know, is it paper? You know, is it agreed value? What makes something currency? You know, so that was what the debate was, and everybody was revolving around that as a question. But just cryptocurrency is, I think it's like a form of karma. I think that the banks had such a crooked model that the engineers and software designers and programmers was like, we're not gonna fix this with a protest. We're not gonna fix this with a march on Wall Street. We're gonna fix this with technology. And they created a equalizer that just, it checkmated the whole game. You know, that's my view on it. It's just like the energy balancing out what went wrong over there, and just the disadvantage that the people were at. The cryptocurrency is balancing that out, or will in the long run. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna create an option, and you're not gonna have to go operate in that system that led to like 2008, all the banks collapsing and the real estate bubble and all the malpractice of power that, you know, was happening in the banking industry and the central banks and all that. So it's like, damn, that was slick. Whoever came up with that was slick. If you really peep it from a political point of view,
For sure.
You know what I mean? That was real effortless checkmate. You know what I mean? They exited before anybody knew what was up.
And they still got bailed out.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's interesting conversation. I've had it with some people, and you know, some people are like stuck on money so much, and I'm like, man, money's not even backed by the gold system anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is it really worth? It's whatever we want to put on it, but really it's just a piece of paper, just like a credit card, just a piece of plastic, and it's the inferred value that we put on it, and as long as everybody assumes that it's worth that, it is. But if somebody tomorrow's like, that's not worth shit, it's really not backed by anything. So it's like, why not try out a new currency?
It's a lot of reasons that, political reasons why it's a big thing, and it's financial reasons why it's a big thing, and even like on a simple level of like sending money overseas or something, to be able to do that peer to peer and not have no middleman with a fee, and with a policy, it's just a direct transaction that's, regulated by a public ledger. That's a big innovation if you understand like banking and PayPal and all that type of shit. Somebody told me that it's like what the internet was in like the early 90s. And think about what that turned into and all the billion-dollar businesses that was built off of that. That's like what the cryptocurrency, blockchain opportunity is similar to. So it'll take a while before we see it mature and really turn into what it can potentially be.
Right. And you're not just talking about it.